The devastation of Baal is probably my favorite battle in all of Warhammer. It had the Blood Angels facing off against a huge force from Hive Fleet Leviathan. I wanted to paint some Tyranids that resemble what I imagine the stragglers of that battle look like after being separated from the rest of the fleet. After evolving. So sit back and enjoy this painting tutorial. This is Tack and you're watching Stroke of Luck. Today I'm going to start this model using some Express Color Gloomy Violet for the armor plates. This was my first time using any type of contrast style paint, and I was actually really impressed with the results. I feel like I need to perfect my technique with it, but I'm sure after I paint about 10 Tyranids I'll be all set. I tried to be as quick as possible, however I will say that the Express Color allowed for plenty of time to paint before it dried. It came out looking really nice. Next, we're going to use some black, thinned down with a little bit of water. We're going to be using it on all of the claws, the hooves, and the horns on the gun. Also, you can't forget about his little fingernail here. After that, it was time to go in with a little dead white. I dry brushed the entire model, making sure just to catch the edges. It really made all the details come to life, and this little termagant was starting to take shape. Next up was some Express Color Caribbean Turquoise. I painted this all over the slits in his arms, his legs, and the gun. I also painted the little hoses on the gun, and the eye of the gun. After that, I freehanded some patterns around the holes on his head and his tail. I wanted to give it a real animalistic look, and it honestly kind of reminded me of the Jurassic Park blue design that I saw in Midwinter Minis. Next up, I thinned down some Game Color Scarlet Red with some Express Medium, and I painted the gun. It took several thin coats to get it completely saturated on there, but it ended up looking really nice. And now comes the fun part. I used dead white to go in on the inside of all of the slits in the eye that I had painted turquoise, making sure I left a nice ring of turquoise around the edges. After that, it was time for the eyes. Freaking nailed it. I also added a little bit of white on the inside of all the holes on his head and his tail. Next up, it was time to mix a little bit of white with some nice sun yellow, and I picked out all the teeth. From what I've seen, all of these termagants look like they're a little bit buck-toothed, but it's whatever. Next, I used some Army Painter Air Gauss Green fluorescent paint, and I painted this all over the white spots that we painted over, including his eyes. And this stuff was really thin, so you're gonna have to go over it with a couple layers, and you'll see me doing that later. After that, I mixed a very thin down black, just to put a nice glaze over all of his skin, his mouth, and the gun. I wanted it to have an almost grimdark feel, but not quite. The fluorescent green is very thin, so I had to add several layers in order for it to really shine through. And now I present to you Leviathan Evolved. I had loads of fun painting this mini, and I'm definitely excited to get some more experience under my belt. I'm really happy with how this turned out though. The fluorescent paint really has that wow factor when it's under the purple or the blue lights. We just received the 40k starter set, so I'm super excited to get it all painted up so we can finally learn the rules and play a few small games. Drop us a comment and let us know which mini from the set that we should paint next for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.